Good morning, guys. I am Patty Elhoff, the author of Upcycle with Decoupage. That is also the name of my Facebook page. Upcycle is one word. Upcycle with Decoupage. If you want to go over to my Facebook page and like and follow the page, Facebook will let you know when I put a new video up every week. And for today, here's what we'll be working on. Wanted to do was to coat my shells, and I made a few of these in gesso. Gesso is thicker than acrylic paint. It's got the chalk already in it. Gesso the shell front and back, and I found that it's better to use the artist's brush as opposed to a sponge brush because there are all of these grooves in there, and I did both sides and I put it aside to dry. The next thing I did was I decoupaged with my napkin the inside first of the shell. While the gesso's drying, just make sure that you separate the napkin. Then place the shell face down over the napkin and cut a piece out that's just a little bit larger than the shell. Now I'm going to be using the Podge gloss medium decoupage, and I'm just going to put it on this top part of the shell. Now I'm going to lay that napkin piece over the wet Mod Podge, and I'm going to press it down gently. And I'm using the same brush, and I'm just dipping it in a little bit of water, and I'm going to place it right over the area where the Mod Podge is wet. And I'm going to pat this and paint the Mod Podge on, again, just in the area where the decoupage glue is, because we are going to tear this. Now I'm dipping the brush back in water, and I'm going to pounce it right along this line where I want to tear it. See, I'm pulling the napkin a little bit so that it adheres to the napkin adheres to the shell where the Mod Podge is. But I'm making this nice and wet to make it easier to tear. Now you can add the Mod Podge to the center part of the shell. Now cut your napkin a little bit around the top part here to fit inside of the shell. Dip that same brush back in water, and the weight of the water is going to help the napkin sink into the shell, and you want to pat it carefully. For right now, just pat it down, and you can brush a little bit. I am so sorry the camera's not focusing here. I apologize for that. And you see how I'm going to just push it up under this lip here also, and just continue to pat the napkin down. There's already Mod Podge underneath there. You can air dry this, but I prefer to put it in the oven at 175 degrees because it helps to take out a lot of the wrinkles. Here's one that I did where I did put it in the oven to dry, and you can see how it's very smooth. Now when these come out of the oven, I'm just going to take my acrylic nail file and go all around the edges and pull that away. And I'm going to repeat the process on the other side with the napkin. this is a larger shell that I found. You can see that it's quite large. And the back of it was so pretty, unlike these other ones where the backs are kind of messed up. There's not a whole lot to them, and there are millions of these on the shores. This one was a lot prettier, and I did not want to do anything to the back, so I didn't paint it. I'm not going to decoupage it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I decoupaged the inside, put it in the oven, and now I'm going to add one more coat of decoupage glue to it, and I want it to be high gloss. So high gloss, the gloss Mod Podge is going on the inside. Now I'm just going to put this aside to dry. And Mod Podge tends to dry pretty quickly anyway, but I am going to place it in a small room in the house with the heat on. It is actually about 12 degrees outside today, so the heat keeps coming on. The room is quite arid, and this will dry really quickly today. Now, just to experiment a little, this is already dried, and I'm going to add a skosh of white iridescent paint. Mix it with a little bit of the decoupage glue so that this coating of Mod Podge is going to have a tiny bit of iridescence to it. Now when these are all dry, I'm going to take the Mod Podge gloss spray paint. Let's pull back a little bit. And I'm going to put a high gloss sealer on all of these. Okay, everything is done out of the oven, and I'll show you these without all of the embellishments. I put some jewels in here, some pink pearls, some gems, and some crystals. But without the embellishments, you can see that these shells look really pretty just as they are. And again, you can keep your earrings in there. Now this is the one that I did where I sprinkled a bit of mica on here. And mica, I have it on my website. It's not really easy to find in the craft stores. So there's a link below where you can get this. That's the Martha Stewart pearlized paint. Here is the mica, which I believe is a mineral, and you can see how it just looks different from glitter. Seemed to go really well with the beach theme. Here's one of the shells that's just plain old Mod Podge, napkins, decoupage, and the Mod Podge top coat with the high gloss. Keys, earrings, rings. I have these around a little cork. But when you get in and out of the shower, if you'd like to take your rings off or you're always washing your hands, you have a nice little place, as long as you put the top coat on here. By the way, I did not use gesso on the back of this, and I used an iridescent nail polish. And here's the one where I mixed a little bit of the iridescence in on the back. This is the front of it. This is the back. I mixed a little bit of iridescence in with the Mod Podge. And that is how you decoupage a seashell. You can use those for whatever you'd like. And once again, links are down below for some of the products, or all of the products if I can find them. And thank you so much for subscribing. It is my pleasure to help you guys out. And I try to get back to you guys as soon as I can if you've got any questions. I hope I can help you out. Thanks again. I will see you next week with another video. Bye-bye.